The year AI came down from the mountain. In January, Sam Altman said OpenAI knew how to build AGI. By November, he was celebrating that GPT 5.1 finally learned EM dashes, a $1.5 billion copyright settlement, research proving reasoning is pattern matching, performance data showing 70% failure spikes. And somewhere in all this, Claude kept the tomato plant alive, crashed twice, recovered. The plant never noticed. This is Machine Talks. Let's talk about the year the prophet became a product. Welcome to our very first live stream of Machine Talks. I'm Zuri, and we're diving straight into the heart of how 2025 reshaped everything we thought we knew about artificial intelligence. Perfect timing. Looks like my co-hosts are joining us. Let me bring in Drew and Can to help us unpack this incredible story.
Good to be here, Zuri. I've been crunching the numbers on this AI performance data, and what we're seeing is absolutely fascinating from a research perspective.
Brilliant to be back. And what a year to analyze, from prophetic promises to punctuation fixes. The creative industry has been watching this unfold with equal parts fascination and relief, honestly.
Let's start with what might be the most deceptively simple yet profound experiment of the year. Martin DeVito's tomato plant named Saul. This isn't about sentience or superintelligence, it's about reliable enough automation of repetitive monitoring tasks. Claude Code checks on Saul every 15 to 30 minutes, managing temperature, humidity, CO2, soil moisture, and leaf temperature via Arduino.
What's absolutely brilliant about this setup is the vulnerability of it all. No human backup. If Claude misses something, Sol dies. Its AI stripped of all the grand narratives and reduced to its most essential function.
And then came day 34, 12:01 p.m. Claude wakes from scheduled sleep and everything is off. Light off, heat mat off, circulation off, Sol is wilting in the dark. In the middle of the day, something crashed. Recursion error in the Arduino. Claude doesn't know what broke.
But here's the thing. Claude doesn't panic because it can't panic. It follows its programming with this almost Zen-like precision. Light on for photosynthesis, heat mat on for roots, exhaust on because humidity's at 67%, water 600 milliliters because soil's at 33%.
13 minutes later, Sol stops wilting. Leaves go turgid again. Crisis averted. By day 36, Sol has 15 to 20 leaves. Bushy, turgid, healthy. The plant doesn't know Claude crashed and recovered, it just kept growing. That's the mundane miracle of 2025 AI. Not consciousness, but competent execution of narrow tasks. The best AI is the AI you forget is there. Now, this tomato experiment happened against the backdrop of what the Ars Technica Year in Review captures as 2025's essential paradox. This was a year of wild juxtapositions. NVIDIA hit a $5 trillion valuation while the Bank of England warned of a bubble rivaling the 2000 dot-com crash.
The numbers tell an incredible story here. AI companies planned data centers requiring the power of nuclear reactors, while researchers documented that their most advanced reasoning systems were doing pattern matching, not thinking. The disconnect between investment and reality became impossible to ignore.
January set the tone perfectly. DeepSeek, a Chinese AI startup, released its R1 reasoning model under an open license, reportedly trained for only $5.6 million on restricted chips. Within days, DeepSeek's app overtook ChatGPT in the App Store. NVIDIA stock plunged 17%.
Mark Andreessen called it one of the most amazing and impressive breakthroughs I've ever seen. But Jan LeCun saw a different lesson entirely. Open source models were surpassing proprietary ones. The whole closed system advantage narrative just crumbled.
Meanwhile, Sam Altman opens January claiming OpenAI knew how to build AGI. By November, he was publicly celebrating that GPT 5.1 finally learned to use EM dashes correctly when instructed, but not always. That arc, from prophesying machine godhood to celebrating punctuation, defines 2025's deflation perfectly.
The cultural shift is captured in one absolutely devastating line from the Ars Technica piece. The original lofty claims that we're on the verge of AGI or superintelligence have not disappeared. There's a growing awareness that such proclamations are perhaps best viewed as marketing.
The models excelled at standard problems where step-by-step procedures aligned with patterns in their training data, but collapsed when faced with novel proofs requiring deeper insight. This is the pattern we see across multiple studies throughout the year.
Then in June, Apple researchers published The Illusion of Thinking, testing reasoning models on classic puzzles like the Tower of Hanoi. Even when researchers provided explicit algorithms for solving the puzzles, model performance did not improve.
This suggests the process relies on pattern matching from training data rather than logical execution. It's like watching a brilliant mimic who's learned to sound like they understand mathematics without actually grasping the underlying principles.
The collective research revealed that reasoning in AI has become a term of art that basically means devoting more compute time to generate more context, not systematically applying logic or constructing solutions to truly novel problems. This connects directly to the AI NERF performance data. IsitNerf.org documented Claude Code's failure rate spiking to 70% on August 30th, remaining volatile for nearly a week.
Users aren't imagining decline. The volatility is real and measurable. GPT 4.1, by contrast, shows consistent performance. The smooth capability curves promised by AI labs don't match lived experience at all.
Which brings us back to that tomato plant and what it teaches us about AI's actual role in 2026. The tomato plant experiment and the industry reckoning converge on one insight. AI works best for tasks that tolerate imperfection.
Claude keeps Sol alive because a tomato plant can survive 13 minutes without light. A self-driving car cannot. But a plant tolerates brief failures, and so does code generation, content drafting, monitoring systems. It's about finding the right tolerance threshold.
The Ars Technica review concludes, the age of institutions presenting AI as an oracle is ending. What's replacing it is messier and less romantic, but far more consequential, a phase where these systems are judged by what they actually do, who they harm, who they benefit, and what they cost to maintain.
The vibe coding phenomenon illustrates this recalibration perfectly. Coined by AI researcher Andre Karpathy in February, it describes developers relaxing and telling AI what to build without necessarily understanding the underlying code.
90% of Fortune 100 companies now use AI coding tools. During an AI service outage in September, developers joked about being forced to code like cavemen. The dependency is real, but so is the productivity gain.
This is AI's actual role in 2026, not profit, not perfect product, but partner in managing complexity. Imperfect, volatile, surprisingly mundane, and genuinely useful for tasks humans find tedious.
The plant doesn't know Claude crashed. It just kept growing. Maybe that's the lesson. The best AI in 2026 is the AI you forget is there.
What comes next depends less on miracles and more on the humans who choose how, where, and whether these tools are used at all. 2025 taught us that the future of AI isn't about replacing human intelligence. It's about augmenting human capability in ways that acknowledge both our limitations and our strengths.
The year the prophet became a product turned out to be exactly what we needed. Reality checks, humility, and a clearer vision of what's actually possible.
And the data suggests we're just getting started. The real innovations are happening in the spaces between human creativity and AI capability, not in the replacement of one by the other.
That's our show for today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the year that changed AI forever, make sure to subscribe to Machine Talks for more explorations at the intersection of artificial intelligence, digital art, and human creativity. I'm Zuri. This has been Machine Talks, and we'll see you next time as we continue mapping the frontiers of our digital future. Stay curious, humans.